Hey, welcome to the game I don't have to set a timer for because it keeps track of it itself, which is highly convenient. We're gonna do Bandit this time. I was listening to some of Bo Burnham's music from his Inside special. If you notice like one breath in, then you notice all of them, and just about every single line he breathes in, and it's the Welcome to the Internet video. I made a channel announcement video. As you've probably noticed, there are a lot of part 1s on this channel. Noita's going to be a mainstay, though I might take a small break from it. I was thinking about this recently. And Sekiro is 100% going to stay on this channel because I just really like that game. So that series is going to be to completion. Risk of Rain 2, this game, is probably going to be a mainstay alongside Noita, but probably not as long as Noita. I focused on the game for a second and forgot everything I was just talking about. I really liked it. Oh, that's right, I can use my R ability to reset all my other abilities. For anyone who has watched more than 2 or 3 of my videos, I would like to ask you, what keeps you coming back to them? You can let me know through Twitter DMs if that's a possibility. I don't really know how Twitter works. Or you can just leave a comment below. But I would be happy to hear from you. There's likely going to be 3 series active on this channel at once. That seems like a manageable number. I never intended to have like 6 series going on at once. I was testing the waters. Sekiro, I just really liked that game, and every time I stop playing it, I'm very angry with it, and then once I calm down, I want to play it again, and then I get angry at it again. Just very soon after I stop playing Sekiro, I want to play it again. It's just such a wonderful and polished game. If you are new to the channel and you've watched this far into the video, because I don't know how far into the video this will actually be, because I cut a lot of stuff out, but if this is more than 2 minutes into the video, then that's pretty unusual let me rephrase that. It's pretty unusual for people to watch more than about 2.5 minutes into my videos. So if this is past that 2.5 minute mark and you're still watching, then surely something's got you entertained, I'm sure, or you're listening to this in the background and just haven't gotten around to turning it off yet. Whatever, but if you haven't, I would recommend checking out my Sekiro series, because I've had fun recording it and editing it, and I've had fun with pretty much the whole process of releasing those videos. There's 3 out at the time of recording this video. I'll edit this if there's more than 3 by the time this goes up. Ooh, nice. All my attacks explode. That's a very good item. And really the main thing that I wanted to talk about from that channel announcement video is about the editing on this channel. See, I'm kind of in this weird spot with editing where I want to be able to make something that I'm proud of and something that people would really enjoy, but I'm not exactly skilled at doing that. So that's one thing. Number 2 is that it takes a ridiculously long amount of time to do editing whenever you do more than the very basics. It just takes a really long time. For example, I can normally edit a video in maybe an hour and a half, and that's 30 to 60 minutes of content to edit down. That's normal, and my normal is just very light editing. I basically cut out silent spots, boring spots, conversations or tangents that don't get anywhere. And for a 30 to 60 minute video that can take an hour to like an hour and a half. But what I did for the latest Sekiro video that went up, I wanted to put a lot more effort into editing that one and like really think of stuff to put in and make it funny, just whatever. And instead of being able to do it in just one night whenever I got home from work, I spent 3 or 4 nights on that. And the edits weren't even that involved. It wasn't even anything super crazy, and yet it still took 3 times the amount of time. So that's number 2. Number 2 is the time commitment and my very limited time that I can put into YouTube right now. And the other thing is, kind of ties into the first thing about quality. It's that I don't want my content to appear lazy. But really, all I really have the time, motivation, and inspiration. That last one's important, and I might touch on that in a minute if I remember. I would love to put more effort into editing videos, but due to my time constraints and my lack of inspiration and general know-how. So yeah, I tested out a more involved editing style a little bit in part 3 of Sekiro, and I think I've decided officially that I'm not going to do those sorts of edits anymore. At least no big ones, at least not a lot of them. There might be some big ones if I'm really inspired to put them in, but I think the edits in part 3 of Sekiro, whether you like them or not, I think they were a little bit forced. Those edits weren't just, you know, put there for no reason. Looking back on them, I don't like how they turned out. I feel like they look forced. And good God, why am I able to do this much damage? That might make for an interesting compilation. I haven't done one of those in a while. Well, I've spent 20 minutes of recording time talking about myself and the channel. It feels like it's been a week since I've recorded, but that's not correct because I recorded Sekiro at least 5 days ago. The gap between the 2 Sekiro videos though, that was a pretty big gap. I forgot how to play the game. Editors in general, I'm not going to have an editor on this channel until I can afford one. I'm not gonna get a free editor to do all of that work for just exposure or something, and I don't know what editors on YouTube make, but I don't want to undercut them, so this channel is a long way, like a long way away from doing that. The most that I can accept from an external editor is just someone who likes my content and makes stuff on their own terms, such as compilations. If something like that ever happens, that's really like 500,000 plus subscriber channels. If there's anything I've noticed on YouTube and like just looking at other people's stories and success stories in general, is that it seems like it takes around 2 to 3 years to build a following. I think it might take like a year to get close to 1,000 subscribers. One thing I don't like about YouTube though is that it seems like the only important things are your newest videos. People have and even myself, so it's not like I'm poking any at those people at all, but myself and some other people have compared my content to the old school early days of YouTube gameplays, and lately I've been kind of not liking the idea of that. I feel like I should be making something different than I am. As I said before, I'm starting to get into an identity crisis with this channel. And speaking of expanding my content in general, I'm going to be expanding my content a little bit. I can't say it's going to be a consistent thing, but I'm working on a long form video with a script, and it's going to be one that I have to do a good amount of research to create. I do want to expand my content out. It feels weird doing it all in one channel though, because I can make videos on... My main content's going to be gaming videos, because that's kind of the main thing that I know is video games. I wouldn't mind branching out into shows, specifically anime and manga. Probably not movies, because I don't know much about movies. I don't watch many movies. I want to stick to topics I'm at least a little bit knowledgeable about, which unfortunately there's not many things I'm knowledgeable about that would make for good videos on this channel. I guess roguelites are my niche on YouTube, even though that's still a very, very common niche on YouTube, very popular niche, because there's a lot of roguelites that have been coming out in the past few years. But I guess if I were to say what niche I'm in to anyone, it would be roguelites. Oh, there is a Doomstrider down there just walking around. Let me see what this does. 200% damage, become invisible, then deal 200% damage again. Alright, so it should be... Okay, I shouldn't be using that more often, because I just fucking died. Bye. Lo-Fi Records makes it a little hard to credit them, because I have to copy all these links from all over the place and then find the exact title and name for it, which it's not all that difficult unless you compare it to Carl Casey at White Bat Audio, where all I have to do to credit him is to do this. So thank you, Carl Casey at White Bat Audio, for letting us use your music so easily.